NS4201, Assignment 001, Pteropus, Flying Foxes. Megabats, more commonly known as flying foxes, have been a part of our night sky for roughly 35 million years. They inhabit subtropical regions from Africa and Southeast Asia to the islands in the southwest Pacific Ocean, like Australia.
There are up to 65 species of Pteropus, which include an insular or Pacific flying fox, the spectacled flying fox, and a large flying fox. The video showing now shows an insular flying fox specimen at the Oxford University Museum of Natural History. Flying foxes are most commonly found in coastal areas, and they inhabit and maintain Melaleuca and Casuarina swamp, mangroves, heathland, dry and wet eucalypt forest, woodland, and rainforest ecosystems. However, the little red flying fox are the only flying fox species out of the 65 which can also be found further inland in arid and semi-arid habitats.
Before the study visit, we had decided as a group that our chosen taxon would be bats or Chiroptera. Upon further research, we realised that this taxon, however, may be too large for the project, as there are 1,055 species of bat and we would risk spreading ourselves too thin trying to cover them all. Once we were at Oxford University Museum of Natural History, we found a specimen of an insular flying fox, as seen here. With some further research and discussion as a group, we decided to decrease the size of our taxon to focus on flying foxes instead.
Megabats are categorised into two groups, Microtrioptera and Megatrioptera. Megabats consist of a singular family, the old world fruit bats, who are also known as flying foxes. The earliest fossil records that resemble that of megabats date back to the Argolocene epoch and are approximately 35 million years old. It is believed that during the next 35 million years, megabats experienced multiple mass migration events across the Indian and Pacific Oceans, which has led to population dispersal that we now see in the modern day.
Some scientists have theorized that megabats may have evolved separately from their insectivorous counterparts, microbats. There have been numerous studies carried out using a range of data from biochemical, molecular, and morphological tests to analyze this evolutionary relationship. The bat monophily hypothesis states that microbats and megabats are each other's closest relatives from an evolutionary standpoint. In contrast, the diphily hypothesis states they evolved separately from each other, from two different non-flying mammals. Some scientists have also suggested that megabats may be more closely related to primitive primates than to microbats.
Due to the nature of their skeletal anatomy, their small and light skeletons do not preserve well compared to those of other mammals. So knowing more about the early stages of evolution in megabats and flying foxes is near impossible, as they are one of the least common groups found in the fossil records.
Flying foxes are night flyers. This helps them to cover an ecological niche, as they are able to fill the airspace usually taken up by day-flying birds. They feast on nectar and fruits, which allow them to occupy another niche left by their insectivore relatives. Unlike other bat species, they use their eyesight for flying rather than echolocation. They have large, forward-facing eyes with mirror-like retinas that capture the limited available light at night, providing them with binocular-like vision. This, paired with an excellent sense of smell, makes them perfect nighttime flyers. Flying foxes also have a highly developed memory. This allows them to easily locate old feeding grounds and roosting areas, sometimes even down to specific roosting branches. It has also been theorized that they may be able to use rivers, roads, and other features as navigation aids to retrace their flight paths.
As mentioned previously, unlike other bat species, they do not use echolocation and instead rely on their sight at night. Being nocturnal also provides other benefits to flying foxes, as it allows them to avoid predators whilst foraging at night, as there tends to be less nocturnal predators in their ecosystems. Many species also forage and roost in larger groups for additional protection from predators. These roosts can range from several individuals to thousands, with the largest known roost being made up of 20,000 individuals.
They also use thermal or slope soaring during foraging flights, The use of updraft and wind patterns allow the flying fox to save energy whilst hunting for food, meaning they gain more energy than they lose.
Like most bat species, megabats have a tiny claw on the index finger of both wings. It is the most distinctive feature throughout the evolution of bats. It can be controlled individually from their other fingers and allows the bats to adjust the shape of their wings for better control whilst in flight. They also have very sharp claws on both fingers and toes to allow for easier navigation whilst in trees and roosting. In addition, flying foxes also have thumbs on their feet, which, when paired with their sharp claws, help to provide this flying mammalian with a strong and secure grip for both roosting and for holding food during flight and during feeding.
A baby flying fox is born with big feet that are nearly equal to the size of their mother's own feet, so that they are also able to have a strong grip from birth, which means that they can securely latch on to their mother when she is on the move or roosting without the risk of falling off.
Foxes also have a rapid digestion rate which allows them to reduce the load the wings have to carry when they are flying by ensuring it is efficiently digested and then removed from the system. In addition to this, they also have a strong bone structure to support the large wings.
As they are fruit-eating bats, their teeth have adapted for their diet. Their larger canines act like blades that help to open fruits, especially those with tougher exteriors, whilst their pronounced molars and premolars help process the fruit, making it easier to swallow and reduce the risk of choking. They also have long extended tongues that they use for extracting the nectar from flowers.
In conclusion, flying foxes inhabit a large proportion of coastal areas in the southwest from Madagascar to the Cook Islands. They help to maintain the habitats of mangrove forests, swamps, and heathland, and the little red flying fox is the only species found further inland. They first appeared in fossil records roughly 35 million years ago and migrated across coastlines and oceans. Scientists have theorized they may have evolved from a primitive primate, separate from the insectivorous bats, but fossil records remain largely sparse of bat fossils. They use their incredible eyesight for nighttime flying and do not use echolocation like other bat species, further suggesting a separate evolutionary path. However, like all other bat species, they have long claws, except from the index finger which has a small claw used for steering during flight, and have a firm grip for roosting and climbing.